Every year, these major publications put out the greatest rappers ever. 50 greatest rappers, 10 greatest rappers. We get these things happen every year. Every time they come out, it creates a bunch of hoopla. But one artist always seems to make his way into the top 5. And for me, it's something that it always brings me pause. I understand the criteria to be a great rapper. You have to have a classic album. For you to be able to set the table, for us to argue, for us to be able to debate, you have to have at least one classic album that everybody can agree on. I think this rapper does have it. However, I don't understand why we always put this guy at the upper echelon of every rap list ever. Is it just about sales? Does sales say who the best rapper is ever? Is it just data, or is it cultural impact? Is it a little bit of both? How do we measure? The rapper I'm talking about is Eminem.
Hi, my name is what? My name is his name's Sadie. Hi.
We first got introduced to Eminem in 1999 with the Slim Shady LP. Right, the Slim Shady LP came out. I wouldn't say it went under the radar. He had some really great records on there. A lot of stuff collaborative with him and Royce. I didn't have that album. Again, my boy Lamar had that album across the street. He had the Slim Shady LP. I didn't have it, but I heard it. And the situation was very unique because being with Lamar, when we were there, like kicking it with him, traveling, going to games, going to watch the movies, going to play basketball, whatever the case was, whenever we was traveling with Lamar had the coolest mom in the history of motherhood, okay? We young boys, we used to be able to get in Lamar's mom's car and listen to rap music with the curse words, right? Now that's unheard of, okay? Now, I remember being in the car one time, getting my introduction to Eminem, being in the car and hearing this album come on, and you know what time it was with Eminem. Okay, he killing his wife. He is going down. And being in the back of the van, Debbie used to have his white van, and the music playing, and being kind of stuck. Like, oh, can she hear this? Do he know she can hear this stuff? Are we good listening to this in the car? And Debbie never would trip. Debbie would. It was amazing. Any album, I'm talking to Chronic, Snoop, Eminem, you name it. We could be in Debbie's car in that white van, and she wasn't tripping. She was allowing us to listen to the music. And I always appreciated that, man. So shout out to Debbie and shout out to Lamar, man, for just for allowing us to experience your moms like that. That was cool, man. I don't know nobody else that got a story like that. Listen to Eminem in the car with your mama?
The Chronic was, of course, a classic.
Could you listen to the Chronic in the car with your moms?
I was going to say the Chronic was, of course, a classic, and it always stands out to me in my memory because my dad had the Chronic on cassette.
Uh-huh.
And he didn't really listen to rap, but he got it.
Word.
We couldn't listen to it with him.
Uh-huh. But you know he had it in there.
We saw it. He had the Chronic.
Man, that's amazing. The power of music, man. And again, Lamar had the Slim Shady LP. I didn't have it, but I remember listening to it in his mom's van and being like, yo, this white boy is off the hood. His rhyme patterns and how he would flip things and how imaginative his raps were and how like his storytelling and everything. That first album, it really captured me, right? I didn't own it. I would listen to it, we would share it here and there. But that first album, he had some really good joints on there. He had a song where he killed his wife. He had a song talking about one of his bullies that he ended up killing. He had a whole bunch of different songs on there.
None of that really ever resonated with me. Like,
and we'll get to that.
He had a couple good joints, like the Stand joint. And
you talk about album number 2.
Yeah, and he had the joint with Dre. They had a video.
Yeah, so you get more into album number 2. Album number 2 is where he made his introduction really to the world.
Yeah, I was in school with the white boys when album number 1 came out. It was like catnip to them, boy. They loved it. Marshall Mathers immediately, and I just couldn't get with.
But you got to think about representation and how powerful that is. Like we see it with with the community, the LGBTQ community, and you see it throughout Disney movies. Just having a bit of representation, what that can do to a whole nation of people with Moana and with the Black Panther and with whatever, Mulan. They'll touch every race of people, and just having a bit of representation can really inspire that whole race of people to go see it and spend some money. So when Eminem came out, he offered this representation in rap music that was non-existent. Like I said, all we had before that was Vanilla Ice. And he wasn't necessarily kicking no raps and no rhymes, and didn't nobody necessarily indoctrinate Vanilla Ice. He didn't come in and
I feel like at that point he was already a punchline.
Exactly. Like no, he didn't stand next to nobody. Nobody gave him a pass, so to speak. And then we have Mark in Boston. And he kind of did his thing. DJ Marky Mark or whatever that cousin was.
Hey, people forget that's Mark.
You know what I'm saying? Mark Wahlberg had a run. You know, shout out to Mark Wahlberg. It didn't necessarily make it to the West Coast. I wasn't bumping Mark Wahlberg, but I understand that in Boston he was a thing, right? So fast forward, we get to Eminem in 2000. In 2000 is when it really hit. Is when it really happened. When Dr. Dre stood next to Eminem. You get the ultimate G pass. I'm here in Compton. I'm here in the land of Dr. Dre, DJ Quick, Snoop Dogg, all of that. The birthplace of all of that. So when Dr. Dre stands next to you, or Ice Cube, or Snoop Dogg, or any of these West Coast legends, when they stand next to you, they give you a stamp that nobody else can give you. When Dr. Dre gets on Hi, My Name Is, and somewhat introduces the world to Eminem, he gives you a stamp that nobody else can give you. It's almost like, okay, well, if Dre say it's okay, then it's got to be okay. And that's not taking nothing away from the music. That's not taking nothing away from the lyricism. That's not taking nothing away from how creative Eminem was. Like, I respect his lyricism, and I respect him as a. He showed up to the game with the biggest stamp you can get, the biggest stamp of approval. Dr. Dre, the same guy that stamped Eazy-E, same guy that stamped Ice Cube, same guy that stamped Snoop Dogg. He's now standing next to this white guy and telling the world, you know what, this is good. Okay, so Hi, My Name Is come out, and it just sweeps the world. We see it on MTV. You remember the MTV Spring Break and all that. You see the kids out there partying and all that. You can remember a specific time in 2000 being in middle school, and Eminem was everywhere. White t-shirts, blonde hair, Eminem was everywhere, right? And I'm not gonna front. When it came out, I was wrapped up in it also. Because the Eminem, the Marshall Mathers LP, that dropped in 2000, to me, that's Eminem's classic album. That's something that we all can agree on. That's something that's a no skip. He got Stand on it. Hi, My Name Is. I can go down it's right here. I can go down the track list. But I knew that album top to bottom.
Let's go to that track list.
Okay, not a problem. And then you can zoom in right here. This is, to me, Eminem's best work. Like, I have it all. I've studied it all, and I could talk like this because I'm a real student of the game. And like I said, I respect what it is Marshall built, and when he came out, and 8 Mile was incredible, all that. We'll bust down all the stats and all that. To me, this is Eminem's best album. This is Eminem's best body of work. This is the only album that he has that's no skips. This is the only album that he has that we can all agree on. Hey, I could put this in my car. I could let this ride out. He got some jams on here, some good lyrics. This right here, 2000, the Marshall Mathers LP. I think this is the album that gives Eminem all of his credence. This is the album that allows Eminem to sit at the table. This is the album that allows Eminem to be considered one of rap's greatest. This album right here. And this album came out 25 years ago. The perfect storm. To have a classic album, like in the last episode, we talked about like getting an NBA championship. It's a lot of things that have to fall into place in order for you to have a classic album. It's hard to say that, he would have went on to just be this all-star without having production from Dr. Dre and without having a stamp from Dre. You know what I mean? Yeah, he could have been an incredible rapper. And I'm sure he would have still got his voice out to the world. But it's kind of hard to say, the kind of look he would have got standing next to Dre or not. This album is the #2 highest selling hip hop album in history. This album right here, this album sold 36 million copies.
Second best album ever, though.
No, so we'll talk about that. Is it a numbers thing? Is it a reach thing? We have to weigh that into the equation at some point. But just for perspective, this album sold 36 million, all that, because, as a white guy, he has a little more access to he has a lot more access to white consumerism than, say, about that. Let me look at the track list, man.
I remember at the time, because I did go to school with white people at the time. Before Eminem, they used to trash rap. All the white kids I went to school with, they would trash rap at every chance they got. They'd be like, all that chicka chicka boop boop. They would say just little ignorant things. And it wasn't until Eminem came around that
started off. Okay, man. Public service announcement. Then he goes right into "I'll Kill You." That was a banger. Just the lyrics on that. Then Stan. I mean, he created a word. He created. Stan is now it's a noun. A Stan is like a super fan. Eminem essentially created that on this album, and the storytelling on Stan, everything on Stan is just it's next level. We got the Paul skit from his manager. Who knew? I mean, that was a banger also. Come on, man. I mean, The Way I Am, that was popping.
The Way I Am was that.
Come on, man.
You said a few songs that I definitely would have skipped. The Way I Am, that was fire.
You know, I am whatever you say I am, and if it was, come on, man. The Real Slim Shady, Remember Me, I'm Back. Hey, come on. He got some joints on here. Amityville, you know, Bitch Please 2 with Snoop and Nate and all them. That was. This is the ultimate stamp. He got all of these. He got storytelling. He got the white folk stuff. He got killing his wife. He got Stan. He got this, and then he comes back with Bitch Please 2 on some super West Coast gangster shit. Like, come on, man. He was giving us everything we needed. Now, like you said, all of these things didn't resonate with us as young black kids. Namely, the song Kim, when he's basically killing his wife on the song. It was very intense. You know, listening to that, it didn't have any replay value. It was very weird as a child because we wasn't trying to kill. You know, I ain't trying to kill my girl. You know what I'm saying? We didn't relate to that. That's the white folk side of Eminem that we didn't necessarily. So as a young boy, you know, we passed over Kim. I didn't listen to Kim. I didn't play it out loud. I listened to it in my headphones. That was weird. I went straight to the Bitch Please or the, you know, whatever was before that. But Kim.
You got the D12 as well.
I got Devil's Night. Devil's Night came out 2001. I got that. Right on the Heels of the Marshall Mathers LP 2000. Devil's Night came out. They was hot. They had that song Blueberry Hills. And then I got the album, and Blueberry Hills was the D12. So we know 99 Slim Shady LP, great album. They had it. 2000 Marshall Mathers LP, classic album. What? Classic. The next album, the Eminem Show in 2002. Now, to me, this is the last great Eminem album, 2002. Had some skips on here. It wasn't a banger from top to bottom, but that was the last body of work to me with Mockingbird and all of that stuff on there. He still had some good production. After Eminem Show, from Encore in 2004, Relapse in 2009, Recovery in 2010, the Marshall Mathers LP 2, 2013, Kamikaze 2018, Revival in 2017, and then lastly, the death of Slim Shady in 2024. Just terrible stuff. Just terrible music.
That's where we differ, because you like the earlier gory chop people up stuff, and then he decided more later on in his career to go in a different direction to make music that his daughter could listen to a bit. And I actually thought that he brought the undeniable skill which he has, which is incredible. His undeniable skill.
He has a rap skill
that I like more. On songs that resonate with me more. And I think, like,
what songs?
Again, Monster.
Okay.
Monster, he goes ham on that one.
Okay.
And he has a few other joints. I'm not claiming you the Eminem fan here, but I know the stuff that I've heard more recently is stuff I like more than those first couple albums. Okay,
what I was Eminem, and Eminem just lacked soul in his music. Eminem didn't create any jams. Yes, he can rap. Yes, he can technically rap. He can rap words and multi-syllables, and he can rap really fast. He can rap a bunch of words, and he can do a whole bunch of rap genius stuff. He can technically rap. He can give you the rap Olympics, right? But that's not what we're here for. Like, is the music good? Is the music jamming? Have you ever gotten in your car and said, yeah, I'm gonna put this Eminem on? When was the last time you got in your car and played Eminem? Go stop right now. And
Monster is it though?
Even okay, Monster, right? Even before then, when do you ever get in your car? When is it ever Eminem time? When is it ever time to listen to Eminem? You know what I'm saying? When is it time for that? Like I said, as a child, I was captured. Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP was dope. I remember before basketball games, all that X, Y, and Z, we listened to it. But as an adult, I don't feel like Eminem he doesn't make any jams. He don't make music that you can jam to. The content of what he's talking about is not good. It's not. It's like. This is not me tearing down Eminem. I'm not here to say Eminem is a terrible rapper.
He ain't got no soul though.
I'm not here to tear him down, right? It's just it ain't jamming, and I get tired of hip hop always saying, "Oh, Eminem is one of the greatest," simply because of the numbers. Selling rap albums, the top 10 best-selling rap albums of all time, Eminem dominates the list. album. Now it's since changed. They say the #1 highest selling hip hop album in history is Outkast, Speaker Box Love Below. They say that's the #1 with over 40 million sales, but it goes back and forth. Eminem dominates this list. He's on this list over, 5 times. The #1 selling hip hop album in all time, The Eminem Show, 40 million. The #2, The Marshall Mathers LP, 6 million. The #5, Recover with 21 million. The #7, Encore with 19 million. The #8, the 8 Mile soundtrack with another 19 million. So we know as a culture, these 5 albums don't have cultural impact. These 5 albums aren't classic albums. These 5 albums aren't even albums that we're gonna go back to and still talk about to this day, right? But just with the reach that Eminem has and the capacity for white consumerism, he has 5 of the top 10 best-selling hip-hop albums in all time. Put this up to one of the, just give you a little perspective. Eminem's highest selling rap, $40 million, 40 million sales, 40 million. Jay-Z's highest selling album, and Jay-Z's arguably the greatest rapper ever, right? This opinion, arguably. Jay-Z's highest selling album is only 6.2 million with Volume 2. That's the Hard Knock Life Volume 2, you know, with Annie and all that. 6.2 million. Eminem's highest selling album, The Eminem Show, 40 million. Give you some more perspective. Drake, his highest selling album, Take Care, one of his best albums, #2, 6 million. Kendrick, his highest selling album, Damn. Now let me give you a bit more perspective. How I say sometimes we have outsiders come inside the culture. They get blessed. They get the pixie dust put on them. They get somebody to stand next to them, and they say, okay, this guy is cool. He can come in. He good to go. Then they make their hits, and then they leave. You know, we see Miley Cyrus do it. We seen a couple other people do it. The latest artist that's done this is my boy Post Malone, and I like Posty. I like Post Malone. You know, when he came out, he had White Iverson. We like, okay, he gonna come, he gonna be a little, you know, rapper. I thought he was from Texas. I think he is from Texas. And again, I like Post Malone.
Yeah, he's from Texas.
I think he's from Dallas, Texas, in fact.
Dallas, yeah.
I like Post Malone. I like his creativity. And I think he matters. His music matters. But I think when he came in, he was indoctrinated by the culture. He came out with White Iverson and he was rapping. And after he blew up and he popped off, he left. He's on this list too. I just gave you some of our greats: Drake, Kendrick, Jay-Z.
On the greatest top selling.
Whoa!
Top selling list.
Let me show you. Posty, young Post Malone has an album called Beer Bongs and Bentleys, and it came out in 2018. And guess how many albums he sold for Beer Bongs and Bentleys? I told you Drake sold 6 million. I told you Kendrick sold 3 million. I told you Jay-Z only sold 6 million. Beer Bongs and Bentleys 2018 sold 7 million copies. Now, does that mean that album is better than Drake's and Kendrick's and Jay-Z's? No. That just means that his reach is a little wider. He casts a little wider net. And there's nothing wrong with that. Kudos to you, man. Get your money, do your thing.
It's not a wider net. It's that.
What is that?
People buy like I said, it's the Eminem effect. People who don't buy rap albums will buy one with a Post Malone.
And why is that? Is that because it feels safer or what?
Of course, to them, white guys, and they'll always be safer from a black man from the hood.
Okay.
Even if he has, Post Malone's case, even if he has facial tattoos all over his face.
We can feel it's cultural. We can feel that it's cultural appropriation. We can feel that, like I said, the guy, $1 Million Baby, he came over, and I ain't never been the same, baby. Right? It's clearly hip hop. He went on interviews saying, "No, I'm not hip hop. Don't misclassify me." Right before the Grammys, he probably messed himself up because had he not said that, I'm sure the Grammys would have put him in with hip hop and then gave him an award for the best hip hop award.
Who is the best white boy rapper ever, or white woman? Let's be fair. What is the greatest white rapper in your opinion?
Eminem has to be the greatest white rapper.
Wow.
Who else is it?
My man, may he rest in peace.
Mac Miller.
Mac Miller. So may that boy rest in peace.
Mac Miller was dope. Mac Miller was definitely dope. I think his album, it was called Beauty, and it was a white album, right when he passed away, I believe.
He has a classic album, and that is Swimming. Unfortunately, that was the one that he dropped right before he died. That's for sure a classic album. And I would argue that the Define Feminine is pretty close.
Yeah, Define. That's what I'm talking about. The Define Feminine was though. He had a joint on there with Kendrick. I remember. I think that's when he was dating Ariana Grande at that time. Yeah. You know what? But I'm not gonna say Mac Miller is better than Eminem.
Got 1.5 classic albums, and even the one that came out after his death, Circle, I think is real solid too.
Okay. I mean, that's arguable, you know? I think it's a generational thing. I wouldn't say Mac Miller is better than Eminem, but he's a great white rapper for sure.
He got soul. And you just said Eminem had no soul.
Eminem ain't got no soul. He don't. But Eminem has he got two classics. And I can't say Mac Miller got two classics.
I can't say Eminem got two classics.
Like I said, it's arguable. I can say the first one and the second one are classics. And we'll get to this. My gripe with Eminem is this. Like you said, I'm showing him respect as an MC. He grew up in Detroit off of 8 Mile. For him to produce that movie like he did, that was incredible. We haven't seen a lot of artists do that. We saw Prince do it with Purple Rain. You know, Michael Jackson, Moonwalker, Jay-Z with Fade to Black, Beyonce. She had a performance movie, X, Y, and Z. But we don't see a lot of artists make that transition into movies. And when they do it successfully, it means something. So when Eminem did the 8 Mile, I think that was huge. The classic albums, 8 Mile, the cultural impact, being stamped.
It makes that much of a difference, and that makes an argument. What I was saying earlier, Belly is
Belly is a classic. But Belly wasn't necessarily Nas's, like, that wasn't necessarily Nas's movie. I think Belly.
It's him and DMX. It's their movie.
When I think Belly, I think more DMX as opposed to Nas. It was more of a DMX movie than a Nas movie. DMX is more the main character than Nas to me in Belly.
They co-led.
Because I could go Paper Soldiers, because Jay was in Paper Soldiers, and Jay almost stole the show.
No, he did.
When he was laid back with the wave cap on. You know what I'm saying? Jay did his thing in Paper Soldiers, you know?
He was in a few things, and Jay has not got the acting chop.
Hey,
Figure that out.
well, so what? You keep trying to do this, throw Nas into this conversation. This is not the Nas episode, all right? But when a rapper is able to transition into other forms of media, Tupac did it with Juice, right? That was huge. I felt like Juice really set the standard for the image of Tupac. And we'll get into that as a whole episode too, because you know we into film and all that. So it's like creating early on in your career, creating certain imagery can really be long lasting and really be beneficial for your career. I think Bishop really coincided with Tupac, and that imagery so early on in his career, it kind of took him on into like the thug life aspect and all of that. That Bishop thing was very, very pertinent.
That's an interesting take. I never thought about that. Can't argue against it.
We'll bust that down one day. Even Doughboy.
I will say we gotta give.
Even Doughboy with Ice Cube. I think having certain imagery early on in your career, you can't unsee that. You know what I mean? And it's powerful.
That's real.
And I feel like that Doughboy imagery, it went hand in hand with who Ice Cube was, and it played out. And I think Bishop did the same with Tupac. So I think Eminem being able to step into 8 Mile as himself and rap and all of that as a battle rapper, because we know that was his story and all that. That was really, really powerful, man. And I think that also helped cement him as one of the greatest in the game, because movies and all that is so powerful. Like you see a star on TV and a star on the radio. It's two completely different stars because TV is so powerful. And I feel like once you cross over into movies and stuff like that, I think it's non-deserving. I think as hip-hop, people in hip-hop, as a spokesperson in the culture, doing that, man. We have to just stop. We got to stop giving Eminem the crown to hip hop simply because he sold so many records. Yeah, he had 5 slots on the top 10 greatest of all time. Does that mean this man has 5 of the greatest albums in hip hop? No. By those metrics alone, we can say, okay, it's a little diluted. It's not to take nothing away from him, nothing away from his fan base. But I think it's disrespectful to the culture. It's not just about numbers. It's not just about numbers. It's about. It's not. It's about impact. It's about relevance. It's about the music growing and being something that we can still listen to. Every artist don't have that.
Facts.
Every artist don't have that, man. But my boy Jay-Z got that. Reasonable Doubt. Reasonable Doubt. Now, if you know, you know, we'll have an episode. Reasonable Doubt is an album that album, from when I first listened to it in high school, to when I was listening to it in college, to when I was listening to it in my 20s, to when I'm listening to it now in my mid 30s. It has so much different meaning, and the bars mean so much. It has different. I hear it differently. I'm getting stuff from the Evils that I wasn't getting when I was listening to it in college, because I didn't know what he was talking about.
That's crazy. That's crazy, because literally just happened. I can't lie. I literally was just listening to Reasonable Doubt.
Come on, man.
And I can't remember the track right now, but there's a line that completely went over my head all the time.
And you didn't realize it.
It's like, man, that's cold.
And then you get it as a grown up, and you like, oh, whoa. Jay-Z, man, Nas has that too. I'm not saying Jay is the only artist that has that, but for me, that's a part of the metric system. Is your music, does it have staying power? Can we listen to your music from '96 and it's still relevant? Does it still mean something? Lauryn Hill has that. She made one solo album, yo. The Fugees album is incredible too. We don't talk about that enough. She was killing Prize and Wyclef on that album. Yeah. But that solo album, it was so pertinent. It was so good. And she only had one. But it still speaks to you now. It's still relevant. You can still put that album in and it still touch your soul. Every track.
It's still getting rocked all the time.
She's still performing it every year because it's so good. Dr. Dre. How many albums Dr. Dre got? 3?
Yeah.
The Chronic 2000. And then he made that Compton album to go with the movie. It's less is more, man. When you come in with stuff that's pertinent, that means something, that matters, it's not always, oh, you put an album out every year. Dr. Dre got 2 classics, 25 years apart? Because it's less is more. It's pertinent. I can't say Eminem dropping 10 albums, man. I'm looking at the discography. He hasn't made years. In my opinion. Eminem doesn't make music that I want to listen to. He don't make nothing that's jamming. He ain't made nothing good in 25 years. So we got to stop saying Eminem is at the top of hip hop. You can't be at the top of rap if you haven't made good music in 25 years. We talking cultural impact. We talking stuff that everybody can agree on. I understand him switching his content. I can listen to. And shout out to him for making Mom Spaghetti restaurant in Detroit. I heard his daughter got married. He's a grandfather now. Like, I'm not trying to tear him down, man. Eminem was a huge part of my childhood. He's a part of my life. We grew up with Eminem, right? But as a spokesperson for the culture, sitting where I sit now, we gotta stop just handing him over the keys to the castle, yo. We gotta stop this. We gotta just stop saying Eminem is the greatest rapper ever. He's not. He's not. He's not. He's not the greatest rapper ever. It's not about sales. Yes, he has 5 of the top selling hip hop albums in history. Does that mean he has 5 of the greatest hip hop albums in history? No. That means he just has, you know, he get a little extra love. And ain't nothing wrong with that. But in hip hop, we gotta stop saying this because it's important to me. I'm a student of hip hop, of just the culture in general. Like I said, I respect Eminem's career. I respect the things that he's done. I know the people that stand next to him. You know, 50 Cent don't play about Eminem, and Dr. Dre don't play about Eminem. These certain people that for Eminem at all times, and I can understand that. But just as a culture, as a collective, we've got to just stop saying he's the greatest rapper ever, simply based on his album sales, because it's not the truth. The cultural impact is not there. The content, a lot of the stuff is just not. I respect what you've done. Great career. I don't think you've made anything that's been good in 25 years. That's just my opinion. But I do feel like you got one of the possible classic albums. You do deserve to sit at the table. However, the culture saying Eminem is the greatest rapper ever is not Eminem approved.